The Trial of Daddy Pig.
It's a beautiful Saturday at Peppa Pig's house. Mummy Pig is very busy in the kitchen preparing something delicious. Mummy Pig opens the oven and takes out a tray full of crispy, golden cookies. The smell fills the air, making Peppa and George run to the kitchen excitedly.
Wow. Mummy, your cookies look delicious.
Dinosaur wants cookies.
These cookies need to cool before we can eat them. Be patient.
What a wonderful smell. You always make the best cookies. Mummy Pig.
He leans in to get a better smell of the cookies. But Mummy Pig puts her hands on her hips and gives him a playful look.
Not yet, Daddy Pig. Only after lunch.
Daddy Pig sighs and everyone laughs. The sound of a car honking is heard outside. Peppa and George run to the door. Polly's arrival.
Grandpa Pig. Grandma Pig.
Grandpa Pig and Grandma Pig get out of the car carrying a cage. Inside is Polly the parrot.
Hello, Peppa. Hi, George. We're going to spend the weekend at the beach. And as Polly doesn't really like the sun and salt water, we brought him to spend the weekend with you.
Hello, Polly.
Parrot.
Yes, George. Polly loves visiting you. But remember, she is very smart and loves to repeat everything she hears.
Very smart. Very smart.
Everyone laughs as Daddy Pig takes Polly's cage.
I'll put Polly in the kitchen. She can keep the cookies company while we say goodbye.
He takes the cage and places it on the table next to the cookie tray. Then he goes back to the door to say goodbye to Grandpa and Grandma Pig.
Have fun. My dears, take good care of Polly.
Let's take care, Grandma.
Polly wants cookies.
George says and Polly repeats.
Polly wants cookies.
Grandpa and Grandma Pig's car drives off as everyone waves. They close the door and go back inside. Peppa, George, and Mummy Pig return excitedly to the kitchen. After all, they can't wait to eat Mummy Pig's cookies, which just by the smell must be delicious.
Now that Polly is settled, how about we have some tea while the biscuits cool?
Great idea, Mom.
But as she approaches the table, Mummy Pig stops suddenly and blinks. Peppa's
Wait a minute. There was 6 cookies on the tray. Now there's only 5.
eyes widen and she puts her hands on her hips.
I know who it was.
Peppa looks directly at Daddy Pig, who enters the kitchen at that moment. Is she suspicious of something?
What's wrong? Peppa?
The disappearance of the cookie. You were here last, Daddy. So, you must have eaten.
Daddy Pig's eyes widen in surprise.
But I didn't even go near the cookies.
Yes, it was. I'm sure.
Mummy Pig puts her hands on her hips and smiles. And it says,
Well, if we have a mystery to solve, I think the best way to find out the truth is with a trial.
A trial? What does this mean?
It means we're going to investigate and find out who took the cookie. And you'll be suspect number 1.
Daddy Pig swallows hard as George looks curiously at the tray of cookies. Polly flaps her wings in the cage.
Judgment. Judgment.
The judgment. Oh no, Daddy Pig is being accused of something he says he didn't do. Is he really to blame? Or is there another suspect? Let's find out. Mummy Pig is arranging chairs, and Peppa brings a small table to serve as a court. George holds his dinosaur and watches curiously. Daddy Pig was accused of the disappearance of a cookie, but is he really to blame? Mummy Pig has decided that a fair trial will reveal the truth.
Ready. This will be our court.
And I will be the prosecution lawyer.
Wait one moment. And who will be my lawyer?
George raises his hand excitedly.
Me.
Daddy Pig sighs in relief and sits down. Polly, the parrot, watches everything from her cage in the kitchen. Mummy Pig takes a rolling pin and taps it lightly on the table like a gavel.
The court is officially open. Let's hear the charges.
Thank you, Honorable Mama Pig. Judges, it's clear that Daddy Pig got the cookie. He was in the kitchen before we left to say goodbye to Grandpa and Grandma Pig.
But I didn't even go near the cookies.
Dino. Innocent.
Peppa, do you have any concrete proof?
Peppa puts her hand on her chin. Thoughtfully, she still doesn't have any proof. And now how is she going to win the case?
Well, I didn't see Daddy Pig get the cookie, but who else could it have been?
Daddy Pig crosses his arms.
Exactly. You're accusing me without proof.
Everyone reflects for a moment. It seems to me that Papa Pig, besides being an engineer, is an excellent lawyer.
To solve this, We need to redo everything that happened.
They go to the kitchen and look at the table. Because that's where the crime happened. I mean, the cookie disappeared.
Here are the cookies. One missing.
One missing.
Peppa pretends to hold a magnifying glass. To better observe the dish is to discover some clue that incriminates Daddy Pig.
Let's follow the clues. Mummy Pig took the cookies out of the oven.
Yes.
Grandpa and Grandma Pig arrived with Polly.
Try.
And Daddy Pig put Polly in the kitchen before returning to say goodbye.
Everyone looks at Daddy Pig.
That is true. But what if the cookie had already disappeared before that?
Maybe? Let's do it all over again.
Peppa runs to the table where the cookies are. Suddenly, her eyes widen. It looks like more than one cookie is now missing.
Wait. It was missing before one cookie. Now they are missing two.
What? But no one left the kitchen now.
The guilty, Daddy Pig smiles confidently. After all, now he has proof that it wasn't him. In this case, witnesses, as everyone was in the kitchen.
So that means I'm innocent.
George looks around, holding his dinosaur.
Who took it?
Polly flaps her wings excitedly in her cage.
Polly wants cookies. Polly wants cookies.
Peppa puts her hand on her chin. Thoughtfully,
Wait a second, Polly always orders cookies, doesn't she?
Mummy Pig looks at the cage, followed by Peppa, Daddy Pig, and George. Did they find out who ate the cookies?
Yes. Polly loves cookies, but her cage was closed.
They come closer and look at Polly. The parrot seems very satisfied. And there are crumbs on the floor of the cage, and they hadn't put birdseed in yet.
I think we found the real culprit.
Aha, I knew.
Polly got cookies.
Polly got cookies. Polly got cookies.
Everyone laughs. After all, the real culprit was in front of everyone's eyes and no one suspected. But who would have thought that Grandpa Pig's parrot has now learned a new trick, opening the cage? Polly is actually very smart.
It looks like Polly learned to open the cage herself.
Peppa puts her hands on her hips.
That means Daddy Pig was telling the truth all along.
Daddy Pig crosses his arms. Satisfied,
Exactly. And you accused me without proof.
Sorry, Daddy. I think we learned a big lesson today.
Yes. Don't accuse without knowing.
Mummy Pig smiles and takes the remaining cookies.
Since we've solved the mystery, I think we deserve a snack.
Everyone sits at the table to eat cookies before another one disappears. After all, Polly has already eaten two, and apparently she doesn't intend for these to be the only ones. After eating the cookies, everyone looks back at Polly in surprise, who still has cookie crumbs in her beak. Peppa and George's eyes widen, while Daddy Pig crosses his arms in satisfaction. Finally, the truth came out. But did Polly know she was doing something wrong?
So, does that mean it wasn't Daddy Pig? Was it Polly the whole time?
Polly ate the cookies.
Daddy Pig smiles, shaking his head.
Aha, I knew I was innocent. Lo and behold, I was judged unfairly.
Peppa looks at Mummy Pig, feeling guilty.
But, how did Polly get the cookies? They were in shape.
Mummy Pig approaches the table and watches carefully. She lightly touches Polly's cage and notices something.
Aha, I knew. The cage door is half open. I think Polly learned to go out on her own.
Polly flaps her wings happily and makes a satisfied noise. Mummy Pig discovered Polly's new trick.
Polly wants cookies. Polly wants cookies.
Polly is naughty.
Peppa puts her hands on her hips and looks at Polly thoughtfully.
This means that Polly may have grabbed the first cookie when no one was looking, and then went back for more.
Everyone makes a surprised "oh" as they look at Polly, who tilts her head as if innocent. Mummy Pig wipes her hands on her apron and looks at Peppa with a knowing smile.
This teaches us something very important, Peppa.
Yes. I accused Daddy Pig without being sure. I thought he took the cookie just because it was in the kitchen.
Exactly. I am a very respectable father. How could they accuse me like that?
Peppa hangs her head, embarrassed, and George looks at her. After all, she was the one who accused Daddy Pig, and now...
Dino apologies.
Peppa takes a deep breath and smiles at Daddy Pig.
Sorry, Daddy. I shouldn't have accused you without being sure.
Daddy Pig bends down and gives Peppa a hug.
How are you, my dear? The important thing is that we learn a lesson. We must always look for the truth before judging someone.
That's right. Now, how about we teach Polly to ask for the cookies instead of sneaking them?
Yes. Polly needs to learn.
Daddy Pig takes a cookie and holds it in front of Polly.
Now, Polly, if you want a cookie, you need to ask nicely.
Polly tilts her head, thoughtfully. She looks at everyone and, after a few seconds, tries to repeat.
Polly, want cookie, please?
Everyone gives an excited, "Ah."
Well done, Polly. Now we can share the cookies.
She hands a small piece to Polly, who happily eats it. Mummy Pig's cookies must be delicious.
Good Polly now.
Peppa laughs and looks at Polly.
That's right, Polly. No sneaking cookies.
No hiding. Polly wants cookies.
The peace cookie. The pig family gathered in the kitchen. Polly, now placed back in her cage, watches everything with her little head tilted, as if she understands what is happening. Mommy Pig holds the tray of cookies and looks at everyone with a smile.
Well, now that the mystery has been solved and the real culprit has been found, I think we can finally enjoy the cooled cookies.
He takes the pan and begins handing out a cookie to each person, making sure everyone gets their fair share. Daddy Pig takes his cookie with an amused expression on his face.
Oh, what an incredible flavor. The taste of justice. But I must say, I almost lost my cookie because of an unfair accusation.
Peppa looks at Daddy Pig with a somewhat regretful and embarrassed face. She holds the cookie in her hand, but before taking the first bite, she sighs.
I shouldn't have accused you without proof. I really thought it was Mr. Dad.
Daddy Pig smiles and pats Peppa on the head.
Don't worry, Peppa. I know you didn't mean anything wrong, but that was a good lesson for all of us, wasn't it?
Yes, Peppa. Before we judge someone, we must always be sure of the facts. Otherwise, we could end up committing a great injustice.
Yes. I promise that next time I will think carefully before accusing anyone. I'll investigate properly.
George, who until then was just listening while nibbling on his cookie, looks at Polly with his hands on his hips and an expression of mock seriousness.
And Polly will ask for a cookie before stealing it.
Polly, upon hearing her name, tilts her head to the side and blinks her eyes, looking confused. After a moment of silence, she flaps her wings and releases an unexpected sentence.
Polly wants cookies, please.
The whole family looks at the parrot in surprise and then bursts into laughter. Mummy Pig laughs and shakes her head.
At least Polly learned some manners after all this.
She takes a small piece of cookie and puts it inside the parrot's cage. Polly, pecking the cookie excitedly, says another sentence.
Polly likes cookies.
The family laughs again while enjoying the cookies in a happy atmosphere. After eating the cookies, the family gathers in the living room to rest. Daddy Pig plops down on the couch with a big sigh and yawns, stretching his arms.
Phew, being judged is a lot of work. After all that, I think I deserve a good rest.
Peppa and George exchange mischievous looks. Peppa approaches George and whispers in his ear, holding back her laughter. George
If Daddy Pig sleeps, Polly can try to get another cookie.
chuckles in agreement and looks at Polly, who is sitting quietly in the cage. But suddenly, Polly flaps her wings and releases an unexpected sentence.
Polly wants more cookies.
Everyone looks at Polly in surprise and then bursts into laughter once again.
Guess we'll have to watch Polly very closely for the rest of the weekend.
Peppa gives a long yawn and stretches out on the sofa next to George, who is already starting to close his eyes in sleep.
I really enjoyed this day. It was a great adventure. And we learned an important lesson.
Yes, and I think we all leave here a little wiser.
And a little hungrier, too. Next time, I think we'd better make twice as many cookies.
Everyone laughs once again as the camera zooms out, showing the family relaxing and happy. If you enjoy Peppa's incredible universe, you know you're in the right place. So, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next videos. Okay, we're leaving 2 really cool videos for you to explore a little more of Peppa's world with us. Until later.